On the road to MotoGP, this is FAB-Racing.
Finley Polhill, though, it is who's looking really strong at the moment. He's on pole position for this one, the number 199. He on the fluorescent orange bike. He's been pretty strong all season right from lid, and he's going to be looking to rack up the points in this one as well. So lots of exciting stuff ready to come in this one, as we wait to get this first race for the AC40 Rookies started.
Yep, as they all line up on the grid, and it will be Finley Polhill, who had a brilliant qualifying session ahead of Harrison Day, who's looked strong here all weekend. It was looking very good in qualifying and in the practice session, but they get ready to look to the lights and go to their formation lap, their warm-up lap, just one tour around the circuit, and it's the orange bike with the white helmet of Finley Polhill, the 199, that will be leading from Harrison Day in second, Austin Johnson in third, with Lewis Hull in fourth, Valentino Kimi-Kirk in his second race outing in fifth, with Oliver Paul in sixth, Sam Gardner in seventh, with Travis Shaw in eighth, with Callum Maxwell ninth, Chloe Sewell rounding out the top 10, and Zach Pennegar and Aidan Burleson in 11th and 12th place on row 6. Great qualifying for Harrison Day. Lewis Hull up in 4th position. That's a really good result for the young man. Yeah, absolutely. Really good 4th spot for Lewis Hull. 1 minute 3.472 in qualifying, so a really good time from him, and really good to see him on the second row of the grid, and he's going to be looking to try and push and try and pick up a podium this weekend as they come round to rejoin on the grid for the first race of the weekend for the AC40 Rookies. This is the first time they'll race at Ellough Park, just like it is for everyone else, but we're used to seeing the AC40 Rookies have their first race at a circuit, as of course this is their first season of racing for all of these guys. As you see there, the number 199 Finley Polhill lining up on that pole position with that fluorescent orange bike, just ahead of Harris Day there, who's Josh Day's son, who's a rider over in the Ducati Tri-Options Championship. So if you've just joined us, it's round 5 for the FAB-Racing Minibike British Championships, and we're ready to go here for race 1 for the AC40 Rookies as they look to the lights for their first race of the weekend, and they all get away, and it's a good start from your poleman Finley Polhill. Also Harrison Day slotting into second place, and Austin Johnson holding on to third as well. So your top 3 getting away cleanly and keeping those positions. You can just see there as well Oliver Hall looking menacing as well, just ahead of Lewis Hull. 2 riders we see always together on track as well. Yeah, absolutely, and so we very easily to get them mixed up with such similar surnames, and they are, as you say, very, very close together. They seem to be attached by the hip all season long, but it's Finley Polhill who has managed to get a good getaway, but he's going to go slightly deep here into the infield section. That's going to open the door for Harrison Day, who has been looking strong, and he'll be eyeing up a win on the season. And yeah, it's Finley who's a couple of points behind Austin in this cup competition. Austin looking at moving up to the pro class maybe next round, but Finley Polhill will be leading him away from Harrison and Austin back in third. But you can see already we've got the top 3 are slightly starting to break away from fourth and fifth, and of course that is Valentino Kimi-Kirk and Lewis Hull. But yeah, you can see across the line comes Finley Polhill, still holding on to this one, but Harrison Day not giving up, just taking a different line into the corner at turn 1. Here you can see the track is looking quite greasy. It's got a little bit of standing water. The rain is starting to come down more and more as the day goes on, so the track's going to get worse and worse as these guys, as we've got contact there between Austin Johnson and Harrison Day. So down goes Harrison. There was contact as Austin tried to get up the inside, and unfortunately down goes Harrison, back on the bike and back underway. But yeah, disaster there for second and third.
Yeah, and I think that's Austin as well now, who's stopped at the side of the circuit as well from that incident. So that's your 2 at the front there, came together and both unfortunately hindered in this race. Thankfully, Harrison Day's managed to get back underway and into this race, and we'll have to wait and see if Austin managed to get his bike restarted and into the race. So that promotes Finley Polehill up into first place, and that battle between Oliver Hall and Lewis Hull is now a battle for second place, as these guys will be looking to pick up their first podium. We were talking to Oliver Hall, and he was saying he's looking to be picking up, he wants to pick up his first medal, and he's looking in a really good place to do it this weekend, and it could even be a first place medal, as he set the fastest lap of the race on that last lap, a second quicker than your race leader Finley Polehill. So looking strong to try and catch your race leader and challenge for this victory.
Yeah, you can see there's that lead battle with Finley Polehill leading from Oliver Hall. As you said, a 1:06.9 on that last time around was a second faster than your leader Finley Polehill, an exact second faster, with Lewis Hull sticking very close behind, only a tenth of a second slower than Oliver. So that battle will continue. So Finley's really got his work cut out if he's going to hold on to this win and add another one to his tally. He's already picked up one at round one in Lid, and equally one on round two as well at Lid as well. So Finley, he's stood on the top step a couple of times, but I'm sure he'll be wanting to add to that here at Ellough Park, and you can see just gets a slightly better exit out of the hairpin as down goes the 6.8 of Valentino Kimi Kirk. So unfortunately Valentino going down, he was running in fourth position, so that's going to promote up into fourth Sam Gardner. So Gardner and Callum Maxwell, so it's Callum Maxwell that's now up into fourth. So yeah, unfortunately there for Valentino, but yeah, great fight here between Oliver Hall and Lewis Hull.
Yeah, absolutely. Always locked together on circuit, these two, and are now locked together in a podium battle, and possibly one that could turn into a battle for the win. But Finley Polehill putting the hammer down on that last lap and stretching a lead of 1 second over these guys. But Oliver Hall will be delighted to pick up a podium if he can maintain this second position over Lewis Hull at the moment. So a brilliant battling between those two, and Finley Polehill, like we said, putting the hammer down out the front. Also, and that's Lewis Hull that's gone down, the number 5. So that's Oliver Hall now is going to be left on his own to pick up that second position. But the number 5 of Lewis Hull down, rejoining, still in third place, I believe. We'll see as he comes across the line. Yes, still in third position, but 9 seconds behind Polehill and 8 seconds behind Oliver Hall now. So Lewis Hull left to ride around in a lonely third position at the moment.
Yeah, brilliant. It's working out brilliantly here for Oliver Hall for picking up his first podium on the season, but it's all equally helping Finley Polehill. Last time around, the fastest lap of 1:06.397, 0.2 of a second faster than Oliver in second position. Lewis has held on to third place, with Harrison Day now recovering back up to fourth after that contact with Austin Johnson, who's equally on the charge. He's now just gone purple, 1:06.295, so a tenth of a second faster than your race leader Finley Polehill. But Austin Johnson is now back on the charge, and he's closing in on Sam Gardner and Valentino Kimi Kirk at the back end of the field. And you can see Valentino just trying to sweep around the outside there of Chloe Sewell and up into 8th position. So yeah, good move there from the outside. Obviously found the grip on the outside line.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant move there from Valentino Kimi Kirk, just making his way through there on the number 35 of Aidan Burton. And also on a charge is Austin Johnson, like I said, setting the fastest lap of the race on that last lap. So yeah, just looking at Kimi Kirk at the moment, crashed out earlier on, but trying to recover from that and doing a good job there in 9th place. But look at the number 37 just behind of Austin Johnson. He's actually absolutely charging through the field at the moment, setting consistent 106s and a good 3 seconds a lap quicker than Kimi Kirk. So he's going to be looking to try and climb up just as Kimi Kirk is doing, and possibly drag him along up through this field. But it's all about Pole Hill at the front at the moment with a 1.1 second lead at the front. Looking again there at Aidan Belton. We spoke to him earlier in the weekend, and he's looking pretty confident this weekend. So brilliant to see all these riders in their first few races in their careers and learning their way around this sport that we all love. But Finley and Pole Hill at the front then. It's the gap there has come down to 0.4 of a second as the number 199 on the orange bike is being closed in now by Oliver Hall. So Oliver Hall possibly looking for victory in this race.
Yeah, Oliver looking very strong as we get towards the final etchings of this one. Just a lap and a half to go in this race, and Oliver Hall is really starting to put the pressure on Finley Pole Hill. He's been closing in, and the gap is now down to just over half a second as Finley Pole Hill is desperately trying to hold onto this lead, but you can see it's closing in with every corner. Oliver Hall, his eyes will be lighting up with the opportunity of not only his first podium but a first win. He's got one lap left to go if he's to close in on Finley. You can see taking a tighter line around that final corner. We've noticed a lot of riders taking different lines around the circuit, and obviously you can see Oliver deciding that the tighter line was going to give him more speed down the front straight, and you can see right in behind Finley Pole Hill. So this is going to go right down to the wire. We've only got a few corners left to go in the first race of the weekend for the AC40 rookie class. Oliver Hall is really starting to put the pressure on Finley Pole Hill. Finley looking for his third win on the season. He's only got a couple more corners to get around if he's to go hold on to that win and start to push himself up in towards Austin Johnson's points territory. And Finley Pole Hill now coming in towards the final stages of this lap, now into the dogleg hairpin, and after that it's just 3 more corners to go. He exits the left-hander down towards the hairpin. Oliver Hall not quite close enough this time to make a lunge into the hairpin. So if all things go well, it's looking as though Finley might exit the final 2 corners, and you can see they're just going a little bit deep into the second to last corner, but he's going to round the final corner. Finley Pole Hill, brilliant race there from the 199, takes the win ahead of Oliver Hall, picks up his first podium, and he should be absolutely delighted with that. You can see arm up from Finley. He had to work for that one, but that makes it feel all the better.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant result from Finley Pole Hill, and Oliver Hall said he was looking for a medal, and he'll be absolutely delighted with that second place. Equally, Lewis Holder in third place, his first podium as well. Harrison Day in fourth. And Callum Maxwell looking to try and defend that 5th position as well from Travis Shaw. So we'll see what happens with them as they come across the line. Yeah, Austin Johnson it is, who set the fastest lap of the race on the last lap, almost over a second quicker than anyone else, a 1:04.6. So Austin Johnson taking 5th place in this race after crashing out and showing some really strong pace at the front. It's a shame that we didn't get to see him battling out the front of this race, but he'll be happy to pick up a top 5 as well in that one, knowing that he had the pace for the front.
Yeah, unfortunate contact between Harrison Day and Austin Johnson dropped them out of the podium, but it promotes Oliver Hall and Lewis Hull, and Lewis picks up his second podium on the season. But it is Finley Pole Hill who takes the win ahead of Oliver Hall by 0.6 of a second, with Lewis Hull in third, Harrison Day and Austin Johnson in fourth and fifth, with Austin picking up the fastest lap on that last lap of 1:04.623. Callum Maxwell in sixth, with Travis Shaw seventh, Valentino Kimi-Kirk in eighth, with Sam Gardner ninth, and Adrian Belton rounding out the top 10, and then Chloe Sewell and Zach Penagar in 11th and 12th position. But once again, as we've seen all throughout this season, Trystan, the AC40 rookies really know how to put on a show. Austin and Byron Johnson now have been promoted up to the pro class. It's Finley Pole Hill who will be lining up on pole position, who will be, I'm sure, leading the field away. So Finley Pole Hill, who was a very strong race winner in Lid at the start of this season, and he's been mentally strong. We've seen him go down, get back up, straight back on it, fight through the field. So Finley Pole Hill, one to watch out for, definitely into the AC40 pros, I'm very sure, in the near future. He'll be lining up on pole position ahead of Harrison Day. in second place. And then back in third, we've got Lewis Hull with Valentino Kimi-Kirk in fourth, Oliver Hall in fifth with Sam Gardner sixth, Travis Shaw seventh with Callum Maxwell eighth, Chloe Saul ninth with Zach Penagar 10th, and Aidan Belton rounding out the grid. Yeah, we look through the field. Of course, it was a brilliant race yesterday for Oliver Hall. He was eyeing up a medal, eyeing up a podium, and he got even better yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. He was. He told us he was looking for a medal heading into this weekend, and he got the best one you can get, picking up a win in yesterday's AC40 Rookies race, with Finley Polehill taking second place in that one. He's got quite a few points in this cup, and expect to see him moving up into the AC40 Pros in the future, in the very short-term future. And Lewis Hull also picking up a podium yesterday, so a brilliant result there from Lewis Hull, and both for Oliver Hall yesterday. But these AC40 rookies starting their careers in motorcycle racing. This is where it all starts for these riders, and they'll be looking to move up through the ranks here at FAB-Racing into the AC40 Pros, into the LT40 Elites, through the Metro Kit classes, up into the Talent Cup, and they're starting their road to MotoGP here at FAB-Racing, the Minibike British Championships, the official partner series to the Bennett BSB. And these riders looking to make their way up through these classes and into professional motorcycle racing. And this is where it all begins, and their attention now is on race 2 for the AC40 rookies as they line up on the grid for their second race of the weekend here at Ellough Park. Finley Polehill is lining up on pole position and looking to take the whole shot down into turn 1 as the eyes go to the lights, and they get a good start as they get away from the line. It's a good start there from Finley Polehill, and Harrison Day then slotting into second place as they go down into turn 1. Oliver Hall getting a good start. You can see him making up positions there, looking to the inside as they go down into turn 2, trying to make a move there on Lewis Hull. Couldn't quite make a move stick just at that point. Looking back, Aidan Belton a little bit further back as well there, and a few riders enjoying their racing further back in this class as well. Travis Shaw there as well, looking to the inside of that corner as well, but it's the breakaway 2 at the front between Finley Polehill and Harrison Day at the moment.
Yeah, brilliant start there for Finley Polehill. Got a good run off the line, onto the bike, into the corner, and has held on to the lead ahead of Harrison Day. Behind Valentino Kimi-Kirk just lost the position in the infield section there and drops down to 5th position. But Lewis Hull and Oliver Hall once again right on it. We saw, unfortunately for Lewis, going down in the late stages cost him possibly that chance of fighting for the win, but he still managed to recover back to a podium. But Finley Polehill comes across the line already with over a half a tenth of a second gap between himself and Harrison Day. Oliver Hall has moved up into third place ahead of Lewis Hull, who does drop down to 4th. Sam Gardner is in 5th with Callum Maxwell 6th, Valentino Kimi-Kirk in 7th, Travis Shaw 8th, Aidan Belton moving up a couple of positions ahead of Zach Penagar and Chloe Saul, who's dropped to 11th position. But if you're Finley Polehill, this is exactly what you need, just getting to the front and hopefully controlling the race with Harrison Day. Of course, Harrison involved in that contact with Austin Johnson in yesterday's race cost him that chance of fighting for the win, because of course on Friday during practice Harrison was looking very strong here at Ellough.
Yeah, Harrison Day having a really good weekend so far this weekend, but unfortunately just not getting the result he would have wanted yesterday. But second place on the grid and looking really strong in this one, right on the back wheel of Finley Polehill in this one. Looking at Oliver Hall now, the number 3, just defending that third place from Lewis Hull. Both these riders on the podium yesterday and looking to pick up another one today. The number 11 there as well of Sam Gardner in that podium battle. Takes a look at the inside down into turn 1. Can't quite make a move stick at the moment, but plenty of laps to go in this one. So this battle for the podium also hotting up really nicely. Finley Polehill then stretching that lead at the front out to 1 second over the line and setting the fastest lap of the race on that last lap. So Finley Polehill on a charge at the front with 6 laps to go in this race. Oliver Hall still defending that third place from Lewis Hull.
Yeah, we often say that Lewis Hull and Oliver Hall are almost glued together. They've been on circuit next to to each other almost every race so far this season. Very, very well matched for pace. But Sam Gardner, in his debut weekend here at FAB, is going very well with them. And of course, this is the fight for the podium. This is third place with Oliver Hall currently leading from Lewis Hall. Sam Gardner just 0.2 of a second behind this battle. Lewis having a look to the inside of that slingshot hairpin. Not quite close enough to send it down the inside. But if you're Oliver, once again, he's going to be buoyed by yesterday's result. But Lewis Hall getting a little bit too eager into the final corner. It has to go a little bit slow on the exit. That's going to open the door for Sam Gardner to look to the inside in towards turn 1. Not able to get the move done. Valentino Kimi Kirk leading from Travis Shaw in 6th and 7th position. Callum Maxwell back in 8th, Aidan Belton and Chloe Sewell, who's moved up past Zach Pennegar into the top 10.
Yeah, Finley Polehill setting the fastest lap of the race yet again on that last lap with a 1 minute 0.881 and stretching that lead to 1.5 seconds over the number 15 of Harrison Day, currently in second place. Oliver Hall defending that third place, but it looks as if the number 11 now of Sam Gardner has moved up into third place ahead of Oliver Hall and Lewis Hall. So Sam Gardner, the number 11, picking up 2 positions in this last lap and looking really strong in third position now, possibly pulling away from these guys.
Yeah, really good lap there from Sam Gardner, moving up 2 positions now into a provisional podium position. And we've got a rider down, and that's Valentino Kimi Kirk on the slingshot hairpin, and so that's out of position, but it is still Finley Polehill leading from Harrison Day. Sam Gardner in third position, and Finley Polehill once again, now that there's no Austin and Byron Johnson, can get on with it and is enjoying this circuit clearly with almost a 2-second gap. And Finley, we spoke to him on Friday, very confident, very assured. He's enjoyed the season so far, and I said he's done a magnificent job in a couple of races where perhaps it's not really gone his way, to get back on it and pick up some really good points, and he's showing that exactly right now as he comes around leading this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys, of course, learning all the time in their first season of racing. And Finley Polehill doing a brilliant job of it out the front. Has had a couple of crashes this year, but it's always really determined, gets straight back on the bike and picks up as many points as possible. And we've always seen some brilliant maturity from the number 199 of Finley Polehill out the front. But Harrison Day also looking really strong to pick up second place in this race. Has had some podiums as well earlier in the season, and a rider we're really seeing coming on really strong as this season goes on. Sam Gardner, a rider who hasn't picked up a podium, and a new name for us this weekend, looking really strong in third place.
Yeah, very much so. And Sam, I'm sure, with that double move on Oliver and Lewis just a few laps ago, will be particularly happy with that one, because he currently finds himself in a podium position. But if you've just joined us, good morning. Hopefully you enjoy your Sunday here watching Fab Racing. You're watching, of course, the Fab Racing YouTube or Facebook page, listening live on motorsport.radio with myself, Gareth Hall, and Trystan Finocchiaro, bringing you wall-to-wall action of the Fab Racing Minibike British Championship season here at Ellough Park. We've got a few more rounds after this. We're off to Rower in 2 weeks' time, then Red Lodge, and we finish off at Clondow in South Wales in just a few weeks' time. And but we are back at round 5 here at Ellough, and it's Finley Polehill leading from Harrison Day and Sam Gardner in this AC40 Rookies second race of the weekend. One more for these riders after this one, so plenty more action from these mini bikes. And Finley Polehill out there circulating now, built that lead up over Harrison to 3.6 seconds. So Finley's decided in the final few laps, rather than take it easy, he's going to go for it. We've got the battle now going between Lewis Hall and Sam Gardner. Sam Gardner going slow, and that's promoted Oliver Hall back up into third position. Lewis Hall up into fourth, so an issue there for Gardner is going to drop him down the order. So the battle's now for the podium. Around the outside comes Lewis Hall. Can he get the move on Oliver? Not quite, but once again, these two, the 3 and the 5 of Oliver Hall and Lewis Hall battling on circuit is exactly what we've seen all season long. We've got about a lap and a half left to go on this one, and the battle for the lead is currently at 3.6 seconds. The fight on track, however, is between Lewis Hall and Oliver Hall over that podium position. Finley Polehill on the final lap with a 3.4 second advantage over Harrison Day. Harrison, I'm sure, will be happy to pick up a podium, but after yesterday's disappointment. But Finley Polehill, very, very strong race from the young man. Controlled it from the front, cinched leading, and he's looking at picking up a flag-to-flag victory.
Yeah, Finley Polehill was absolutely dominant at the front of this race from pole position, took the whole shot and pulled away from these guys. Harrison Day, a lonely second place, but he'll be happy to pick up 20 more points in this AC40 Rookies Cup. One lap to go then for Finley Polehill, who's been absolutely dominant at the front of this race. Heads down into the slingshot hairpin for the final time, down into the penultimate corner. An absolutely brilliant, dominant victory from the number 199 down into the final corner, and he will come across the line and take victory in race 2 here for the AC40 Rookies, and he looks delighted with that one, does the number 199 of Finley Polehill. Brilliant victory for him. Harrison Day comes across the line to pick up second place on the number 15 machine, and this battle for third place hotting up really nicely between Oliver Hall and Lewis Hull. Who's it going to be as they come to the line? Oliver Hall gets a good drive out the final corner and does take another medal this weekend. The number 3 of Oliver Hall picking up third place in that one, ahead of number 5 of Lewis Hull. Sam Gardner picking up 5th place, and Travis Shaw yet to come across the line on the number 4 machine. So a brilliant result there from Finley Polehill. Brilliant second place for Harrison Day, and another medal for the number 3 of Oliver Hall.
Yeah. Brilliant race there from Finley Polehill, and once again a fantastic fight between Oliver Hall and Lewis Hull, with Oliver Hall I'm sure having the weekend of his life here at Ellough Park. He was very excited. We spoke to him in Wilton Mill, and we spoke to him this weekend as well, and he's been targeting that podium, and he's picked up a double so far. Finley Polehill is your winner ahead of Harrison Day in second position. Oliver Hall does pick up third place ahead of Lewis Hull by 0.2 of a second. Sam Gardner unfortunately falls back to 5th position after being in third in the last stages of that one. Travis Shaw up to 6th with Callum Maxwell 7th. Valentino Kimmy Kirk in 8th, with Chloe Sewell coming up to 9th place, passing Aidan Belton late on, and Zach Penegar rounding out the field in 11th position. But so once again, the AC40 Rookies show us that they can put on a real show, and Finley Polehill definitely one to watch for the future. We've got Valentino Kimmy Kirk trying to get the bike restarted as the AC40 Rookies make their way out onto the grid. And it'll be Finley Polehill on the pole for this one, very much almost in the name, but the 199 will be lining up. He's picked up a win and a second place on the weekend, and we spoke to Finley before the weekend started.
Quite tricky racing against Harrison today, but Austin didn't seem as fast as normal.
And of course no Byron Johnson this weekend. He's moved up to the AC40 Pro class, so you've got to think that you're in a good chance for a couple of wins this weekend.
I'm hoping for 3 wins, and I'm just really looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Well, good luck this weekend, Finley. It's been really good to see your progression so far this season, and hopefully we'll talk to you very soon.
So awesome to hear that from the number 199 of Finley Polehill, on pole position for this race then, ahead of the number 15 of Harrison Day. The number 27 of Austin Johnson in third place, ahead of the number 4 of Lewis Hull. Austin Johnson, of course, not going to be on this grid as he's moved up into the AC40 Pro. So that promotes Lewis Hull up into third on the grid. Valentino Kimmy Kirk hopefully has got his bike restarted and into this race. If so, he'll line up in 5th spot on the grid ahead of Oliver Hall, who picked up first place in the race yesterday. Sam Gardner lines up on 7th spot ahead of Travis Shaw in 8th. Number 111 of Callum Maxwell in 9th, ahead of Chloe Sewell in 10th. Zach Penegar, number 134 in 11th, ahead of Aidan Belton in 12th place on the number 35 machine, and rounding out the grid.
Yeah, it was great to hear from Finley on Friday. I spoke to him and he just said he's just looking at having fun, and that's exactly what he's doing. He wanted 3 wins, well, he's picked up 1 and a second place, so almost as good as possible. And starting on pole position for this one alongside Harrison Day, who has been very strong so far this week and not been able to translate that through to a race win, however, though. But watch out for the likes of Oliver Hall and Lewis Hull. The pair of them have been glued together and have been fighting it out for the podium, and Oliver Hall has been very, very happy with his weekend's returns. He was desperately hoping for a podium. Well, he's got 2 of them so far, but it will be Finley Polhill versus Harrison Day off the line as they look to the lights and get ready to start their 3rd and final race of the weekend. Off the line goes Finley Polhill, gets a good start. Alongside comes Harrison Day. Can Harrison get the run into turn 1? He is. So Harrison is going to look to the inside. They go side by side through turn 1. Harrison Day taking the lead as they go into turn 2 for the first time. Great start there from the 1-5 rider who started in 2nd position. Finley Polhill, a little bit of work to do here. Behind he's got Oliver Hall, who's already made a good start up into 3rd position.
Yeah, brilliant start from Harrison Day then to take the whole shot into turn 1, and Oliver Hall looking really menacing there now in 3rd spot, looking to try and go with these riders at the front. Oliver Hall, who picked up his first win yesterday and picked up a podium earlier on as well, but it's Harrison Day then who's looking to pick up his first win of this season in this one. Still a long way to go in this race, of course, still only the first lap of this race 3 for the AC40 Rookies, and the final race of the weekend for the AC40 Rookies. There is the number 11 there of Sam Gardner, who we saw fighting for a podium early on, just ahead of Lewis Hull, but Harrison Day still leading ahead of Finley Polhill. Finley looking really menacing just behind the number 15 there of Harrison Day. What can Finley Polhill do about the number 15 of Harrison Day? Oliver Hall still there in 3rd place, with Sam Gardner in 4th and Lewis Hull dropping down to 5th on that first lap.
Of course, this is a cup competition, not an official championship. This is a really good place for these young riders to hone their skills. They're very early on, of course, they're on the road to MotoGP here at FAB-Racing, and Finley Polhill very much doing so. He's got 7 laps left to go, about 6.5 laps left to go, so no rush. He doesn't need to make any rash decisions. Go for a move if it opens, but I'm sure for Harrison Day, who has picked up 4 third place finishes on the season, he'll be looking at picking up a first win and his best result of the season so far. But Finley, who's already taking a number of wins so far, he was battling with the likes of Austin and Byron Johnson before they made their way up to the pro class, and now Finley has got Harrison for company on circuits, and he was saying that Harrison's been very fast, but he's hoping to go with him, and you can see they're now on track together. Finley trying to follow in the tracks, and in fact taking a slightly different line there. That's going to give him a different run out of turn 3, but not quite close enough to make the move. But it shows that these riders exploring the tracks to find out where they can find the pace. Yeah, that's brilliant to see. It's brilliant to see them experimenting with things and always learning, taking 2 completely different lines there. You see Harrison Day was able to hold a little bit more mid-corner speed, taking that tighter line, but with Finley Polhill taking that wide sweeping line, seemed to get a little bit of a better drive out of turn 2 down to the tight turn 3. Looking back at the number 11 then of Sam Gardner, battling out again with the number 5 of Lewis Hull. That's the battle for 4th place going on, with the number 3 of Oliver Hall a bit further down the road in 3rd place, looking to pick up another medal here this weekend, and that'll be 3 from 3 if he can keep it like that. There you can see the number 3 of Oliver Hall just tipping down into turn 1, but it's Lewis Hull now ahead of Sam Gardner. So Lewis Hull, who's made his way up into 4th spot on the number 5 machine, the number 11 going up the inside of the number 5 of Lewis Hull. So these two battling it out for that 4th place, and this battle hotting up really nicely, just as the battle for first place is between Harrison Day and Finley Polhill, the number 15 and the number 199. Yeah, really good race here, especially for Oliver Hall coming into this one and picking up his first podium, first win, and he's looking at another 3rd position at the moment, so we'll be using all spaces on the podium so far this weekend. But it's Harrison Day still holding off Finley Polhill as they exit the slingshot hairpin, entering into penultimate corner on the lap. We've got 4 laps left to go. Finley Polhill has still got time to make a move on Harrison Day, just staying with him. You see ducking down, bringing those knees in and trying to make sure that he closes right in. In fact, he gets a really good run, but Harrison taking a different line through the exit of turn 1 as they come into the infield section, and Finley closing in and going very wide, and that's going to give him that, as you say, that extra mid-corner speed and that run down. In fact, he's going to go to the outside line, try and cut to the inside. So yeah, you can see Finley really trying to find that way past. fast. He's trying to get into the peripheral vision of Harrison Day, moving from left, moving to right, trying to find the way around. He's going to go to the outside line. Can he get the grip? Not quite close enough, but he's almost side by side. Harrison Day is got his hands full trying to keep Finley Polhill behind. Finley doing a great job, but just trying to find out where he can find that opening to get past Harrison.
Yeah, Finley Polhill absolutely all over the back wheel of Harrison Day at the moment and trying to find his way through. He said earlier on in the weekend that he wanted to be able to stick with Harrison Day in the dry race, and he is able to do that. But is he able to get one on Harrison Day as they come across the line? It's 3 laps to go in this race. Finley Polhill looks to the inside down into turn 1, can't quite make a move stick. Harrison Day closes the door into turn 1. Ellough has another look into turn 2, still no way through for the number 199 of Finley Polhill, taking that wide swooping line through turn 2, gets a brilliant drive out of turn 2, has a look as they go down into turn 3, and I believe we have Lewis Hull who's gone down and out of the race at the hairpin, so unfortunate for Lewis Hull. So that battle there between Lewis Hull and Sam Gardner, now just for Sam Gardner to roll around by himself down in 4th place. But this battle for the front really hotting up now. It's the number 15 of Harrison Day and the number 199 of Finley Polhill.
Yeah, Finley Polhill with a couple of laps left to go if he's to make an attack on Harrison Day. Harrison doing a really good job of holding on to the lead of this one. Managed to get a better launch off the line, has held on to the lead since then, and he's just got 2 more tours of this Ellough Park circuit to hold on for victory. But Finley Polhill's got a really good exit out of the final corner. They're side by side into turn 1. Once again, Harrison sweeping around and cutting the nose off of Finley Polhill, but Finley up the inside as they go into turn 2. Once again, Harrison doing a masterful job of holding on to this race lead, and Finley trying to find every single avenue to get past Harrison, but Harrison doing a really good job, and this is a stellar ride from the 15 bike to hold on to the race lead. We've got a lap and a half left to go. Finley Polhill is trying everything. You can see using wide lines, tight lines once again up the inside, but once again Harrison closing the door at the final moment, and Finley's gonna have to reset himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Finley all over the back wheel and has a look down into the hairpin. Can he make a move stick? He's up the inside, and yes, he can. Will he run it wide? Will Harrison be able to get the crossback? Harrison running over the curbs on the inside of the hairpin there. Brilliant stuff from Harrison Day there, but now that's allowed the number 199 of Finley Polhill to have a little bit of breathing space as they go on to the final lap. Down into turn 1 for the final time. Finley Polhill setting the fastest lap of the race on that last lap. Will Harrison Day be able to do anything about the charging 199 of Finley Polhill on this final lap? It just seems to me like Polhill has timed it to perfection on this final lap. He studied Harrison Day for a lap, found his way through with 1 lap to go, and now he's pulling away from the number 15, but still a brilliant ride from Harrison Day in this race to stay in that 2nd place, picking up another podium for the youngster. And Finley Polhill, it's got to be said that he's going to be moving up to the AC40 Pros very soon as he's racking up the points in this AC40 Rookies class. Once he reaches 234 points, he will have to move on to the AC40 Pros. But this is race 3 for the AC40 Rookies, and it is the number 199 of Finley Polhill that takes the win here for race 3 of the weekend at Ellough Park. Harrison Day taking a brilliant 2nd position, and Finley Polhill setting the fastest lap of the race on that last lap again. The only rider into the 59s. Oliver Hall will come across the line to take another podium this weekend. A brilliant weekend for the number 3 of Oliver Hall, with Sam Gardner picking up another 4th place, and Travis Shaw will be coming around to pick up 5th. So a brilliant win there for Finley Polhill, and perfectly timed.
Yeah, very much so. Well deserved there for Finley Polhill. He wanted 3 wins, well, he's got 2 out of 3 in a 2nd place, so a brilliant weekend for the 199 bike. Harrison Day will be very happy with 2nd position, maybe a little bit disappointed losing the lead with just a lap and a half left to go, but Finley Polhill, a well-deserved winner. Oliver Hall punching the air as he came across the line. He's picked up another podium position, but it is Finley Polhill, the only rider inside the 59s, and he takes the win ahead of Harrison Day. Oliver Hall in third, with Sam Gardner unable to reel in Oliver on that last lap. It got close, but not quite close enough, half a second. Travis Shaw up to 5th place, with Callum Maxwell in 6th, with Chloe Sewell moving up from 10th to 7th, with Zach Pendergar in 8th, Aidan Belton in 9th, and unfortunately Lewis Hull, after going down at the hairpin, was unable to get restarted and was not non-finisher in that one. So unfortunate for Lewis, who's been very good so far this weekend. We've had some great fun with him, Sam Gardner and Oliver Hall battling out over 2nd, 3rd, 4th all throughout the weekend. But yeah, definitely the rider of the weekend in the AC40 Rookies has got to be Finley Polhill.
Yeah, incredible maturity for him in that final race to sit behind Harrison Day, who's had a brilliant weekend as well. We can't take anything away from the number 15 of Harrison Day, but Finley Polhill rode a really mature race, stayed behind Harrison right to the end, timed it to perfection, and then set the fastest lap of the race on that last lap, 2 seconds faster than anyone else. So showing his dominance, and a rider we expect to see moving up to the AC40 Pros very shortly indeed.